Every property investor wants below market value deals, but not everyone knows how to consistently find them.
In this video, we're going to show you how to consistently get below market value properties with big discounts without having to rely on luck or estate agents or anything like that.
So let's get into it. What is below market value, or BMV?
The market value, or the true market value, is not the asking price. If a property is worth around 100 grand, but someone's asking 300 grand for it, it doesn't mean it's worth 300 grand. You need to work out what the true market value is, and then anything lower than that is below market value. So this is how we work out whether or not a property is below market value. So first of all, we find out the true market value. So say, for example, it doesn't need a refurb, it's already done up to a nice standard. You just look at what sold in the area recently, similar style property and similar size, and that will give you the true market value. If it does need a refurb, then you'll look at comparables. So you'll get the end value. So you'll see what's done up to a nice standard in the area, similar style, similar size, and what's sold recently. And then you'll minus the refurb cost, and that's going to give you the true value.
So to put it simple, GDV minus the refurb is going to give you the true market value, and then true market value minus 20%, for example, is going to give you 20% below market value. So buying a property deal below market value is basically buying a deal that is less than what the true market value is. Below market value doesn't mean cheap or distressed. It means it's undervalued relative to its potential based on similar properties in the area.
So you're looking for three things. It doesn't need to be all these things. It can be one of these three things, but you're either looking for motivated sellers, poorly marketed properties, or properties with problems that you can fix. Right, so where are we going to find these BMV deals? BMV means below market value, for those who don't know. Where are we going to find them? Let's do it.
So first things first, you can find them on sites like Rightmove and Zoopla. And there's a couple little tools that you can use, or little tricks that you can use to find these sort of properties. One of them would be searching for properties and changing the filter to oldest listed.
Obviously, if a property's been on the market for ages and hasn't sold, it can mean that the seller is motivated. If it's been on for like 3 years, you know, that just proves that they're not motivated at all, because they don't want to lower their price. But it typically means that for some reason it's not selling.
It's likely that that seller's going to be a little bit more motivated to sell.
Yeah.
And another thing as well that you can do on Zoopla is you can change the filter to show most reduced, and it's going to put all of those properties at the top of the search. So people who have reduced their property, let's say they originally listed it for 200k, and then 2 months later they put it for 175k, and another 2 months later they put it up for 150k, and they've reduced it by 25%, that's going to tell you that person is quite likely going to be motivated to sell.
Also, when you're calling estate agents, ask them questions like, is the vendor motivated to sell? What's a property that you've got in your books that you're just struggling to sell at the moment, and why? You know, because say, for example, people aren't buying it for a certain thing, that might be something that you can fix.
And also ask the estate agent what the vendor's situation is, because they might tell you something that will give you a clue if they're motivated or not.
Yeah, and say, for example, if they can't reduce the price for a certain reason, then you might be able to do a sort of better strategy that will suit them better, like a lease option, different things like that, because they still might have motivation, but they might not be able to sell at a discount. But there's still things that you can do. So other ways that you can find below market value deals is Facebook and Gumtree. Now, if you're putting your property on Facebook or Gumtree to sell, that in itself just says that they're probably motivated. So don't sleep on these websites. You know, you get a lot of time wasters, especially on Facebook, but you can find ridiculous deals on there with massive discounts. Another little tip, if you're looking for sort of discounted HMOs where you get a nice discount, you'll be able to get a better yield. What you can do is you can go on Spare Room. Obviously they're renting out rooms, but what you can do is you can look for the ones that look a bit shit, and then it will show you how many rooms are tenanted. So if it's a 6-bedroom house and they've only got 2 tenants in, or 1 tenant, and the kitchen's fucked and like the beds look grimy, like they're probably not going to be able to get tenants, and they probably don't have the money to refurb it or make it nice for tenants. So it's probably causing them stress. They've probably got shit tenants, because shit properties attract shit tenants. It's probably costing them more in their mortgage costs than they're even getting an income. So you can say, look, just out of interest, are you interested in selling? That's another good way to get discounted HMOs.
Okay, cool. So let's move on to number 2, which is auction site. Auction sites are great for distressed or unmortgageable stock.
Normally, when a property is unmortgageable, that means that less people can buy it. So the pool of people that can afford to buy it, because there's got to be cash, is going to be less. So they're going to typically get a bit more of a discount on the property because less people are able to buy it.
And what auctions do is it sort of offers certainty to the seller that someone's going to buy it and they're going to be quick. If no one bids on it, then
There's no certainty.
Okay.
there's no certainty.
We don't sell deals to our investors that are on auction. We secure them before or after auction. It just makes life easier for us. But, you know, if you're looking to buy deals for yourself and not looking to source them, then yeah, auctions can be really good. Number 3, direct to vendor marketing.
So what do we mean by direct to vendor marketing? Well, there's different ways that you can do it. You can do leafleting, you can do Facebook ads, direct to vendor letters. There's loads of different things that you can do to reach a vendor directly.
Listen, you can also just knock doors. Like we live in Bournemouth, right? And there was a property that looks absolutely fucked. No one lives there. It's like derelict. I just knocked on the neighbours and just said, do you know who owns that? And then they was just like, yeah, he comes around every 2 months because someone smashed the windows or whatever. And just tidies up a little bit. And then I asked for the phone number, but I never got through to him. But if I ever do get through to him, that'll be an amazing deal. One of the best ways is direct to vendor letters and leaflets.
Yeah, we've got over 50 different letters and leaflets, different templates that you can literally just use. They're made on Canva, so it's all editable. You can put your brand on it and just plug it straight into your business. If you want access to those, we'll put a link in the description.
One of the best ways is direct to vendor marketing because you're going direct to the vendor. It's not on the open market. You can normally secure much better deals.
There's no middleman.
Yeah, so what you need to do is sell the benefits of working with you and how that benefits the vendor. So fast sell, cash purchase, no fees. There's no headache for them. So you want to make that clear in your marketing.
Number 4, estate agents and deal sourcers.
Estate agents are going to be your best friends. A lot of people hate them and think they're annoying and stuff like that. Literally, all you need is 2 or 3 great estate agents that you get on with quite well. Once they know that you're serious and, you know, you either sell a lot of deals or buy a lot of deals, they'll start sending you the deals before they even put them on the market. Look, I've got this deal. Do you want to have a look at this deal? And they'll start feeding you deals. So one of the most important things that we tell everybody, if you want below market value properties, is call the agent every week. So say Monday morning, call them, hi, you're right, have you got, basically, and explain what you're looking for. So I'm looking for fixer-upper style properties. I'm looking for something that needs some work or something that I can get a decent discount, someone that needs a fast cash. Have you got anything? And then just keep doing that every single week. After a while, they'll be like, oh, I know he's serious. Do you know what I mean? Because you're calling every week. So that's one of the most important things, being remembered. So one of my friends, Lewis Perrin, also says to come up with a little nickname for yourself. So he calls himself your favorite investor. So he calls up, goes, hi, it's your favorite investor. He told me that he knows someone that goes, oh, you're right, it's Mr. Smelly. And they're like, what? And then he goes, if whenever you come across a smelly property, think of me. You can have a joke and a laugh. It doesn't have to be all about business. You want to become friends with these people because they're the ones that are going to be feeding your business.
So again, build real relationship, keep following up with these people, explain to them what it is that you want, keep reminding them of what you want, and don't just sit there and wait for a deal to land in your lap. You need to go out there and actually get them.
And actually give a shit about them. Like, no one really cares about people. They only care about themselves. So if you speak to them and they mention that they have a dog or they went on holiday or whatever, just write it down. The next time you speak to them, oh, how's little fucking Fluffy or whatever, or
Yeah, little fucking Fluffy.
yeah, how's little fucking rat dog? Or how was your holiday? Do you know, it's not constantly just a business transaction speaking to these people. They're just normal people.
And property is a people business, so just build relationships with these people.
And most people hate their job. You chat to them about football, you chat to them about the boxing that happened, or whatever you chat about, you know, you all come across people that you just naturally get on with better. So just work with them more.
And also, motivation shifts over time. So let's say you're speaking to an agent about a deal and then your offer doesn't get accepted, but someone else's does. Keep following up about that deal. The money's in the follow-up. Let's say 6 weeks down the line, that deal falls through. That seller might be a little bit more motivated and they might be open to your offer that you put in originally. So keep following up with these people, build relationships, and remember the money is always in the follow-up. So let's talk about the real key to below market value deals, and that is motivation. We've touched on it a little bit, but what makes someone motivated?
So like we get some hate online, like, oh, why don't you just offer what it's worth and stuff like that? But if no one else is buying it, there's obviously a reason that it's not selling for that, because there's something needed. So maybe they need a fast sale, or maybe they're in debt, maybe they're going through a divorce.
Maybe they've just inherited the property and they don't want to be a landlord and it's just coming with loads of issues.
Maybe they're literally about to get repossessed and all they need is someone to pay off the mortgage. So say for example, it's a 200 grand house, they've got 150 grand grand left on the mortgage. Someone just pays that will relieve them of all their stress. They won't have to worry about anything and they can just be done with it.
Maybe it's just a landlord who wants to exit the market.
There's many reasons why there's motivation. It doesn't mean you're this big evil person because you're getting a discount. It's fair for everyone.
Shekels.
Okay. If you're relieving someone of their stress, no one else is going to do it for them, then you should get a good deal out of it.
Yeah, let's say, for example, the property is really damaged and the owner hasn't got the funds to get up to a nice standard, so it's just not tenanted at the moment. It's just costing money every month. There's plenty of reasons why a seller would be motivated.
So remember, you don't want to be taking advantage of people. It needs to be a win-win for both parties. So they want speed, certainty, and convenience in exchange of a discount.
So we've showed you how to get below market value deals and how to spot motivation. Now we're going to show you how to get below market value deals consistently month in and month out. So number one is scan online daily. So what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, you can set alerts on websites like Rightmove, Zoopla and OpenRent. So whenever a new listing comes up, you can get notified and then you can have a look at it. But also you just want to scan these sites anyway. Instead of waking up in the morning and just scrolling through Instagram and Facebook, you can be scrolling through Rightmove or Zoopla or OpenRent.
Also, you want to make sure you're checking all the websites. So On the Market, Gumtree, Spare Room, ones that are struggling to rent. You want to be checking all of these ones as well. If someone's been trying to rent a property for months and months and months, it's just costing them with a mortgage. So they might potentially be up for selling.
Focus on things like the price drop. So remember we said you can filter it so it shows you the most reduced. You can also use sites or Google Chrome extensions like Property Log, and that's going to show you when you log onto Rightmove or click onto Rightmove, it's going to show you what the different prices have been for that property.
Yes, it will show you, this property has been discounted 5 times in the last 5 months.
And again, on Zoopla, you can see what has been like the highest reduced or the most reduced. So focus on things like price drops. Also focus on oldest listing. If a property's been sat there for ages and it hasn't sold, it's likely going to be a motivated seller. And then also look at things like poor photos, things that are just marketed badly.
By the way, you need to be doing all of this stuff every day.
You can also put filters or search keywords like needs work or cash buyer, stuff like that. Method number 2 is build an agent shortlist.
So at the start, you want to be contacting all the agents in the area and, 10, 15 agents, call them weekly. After a while, you'll start to realize who you get on with better and who's your sort of person and who you prefer to deal with, and they will start to send you deals as long as you're consistent and you're calling every single week. You want to be visiting in person as well, where you can. If you're doing it remotely, that's going to be a bit harder, but where you can, visit in person and show that you're serious. You've either got serious buyers, you're a serious buyer yourself, and you want to buy deals. They need to know, okay, this person wants to buy some properties, let's try and find them some good properties.
Also ask to be notified before they hit the market and keep following up with these agents, keep in contact with them.
Some people say keep in contact with them every 2 to 3 weeks. You want them to think, he's fucking going to call me again. Like, let's just find him something so he leaves us alone.
Method number 3, direct to vendor marketing. So go leaflet in, send direct to vendor letters, target properties that you're after, walk the streets and see which properties you think look distressed or like properties that you can offer a solution to. And again, if you want templates of direct to vendor letters or leaflets, click the link in the description.
When you're doing direct to vendor leaflets or marketing or brochures, you don't want to just do it once. You want to do it a few times. You want to send a different letter or a different way of wording it, or, you want to do it quite a few times because, there might be other people doing it. And also they familiarize themselves. Like Coca-Cola, everyone knows who Coca-Cola is. There's not really much point of them doing an advert about Coca-Cola because everyone already knows what it is. It's just reminding you that they exist. You just want to keep doing that basically.
You can do Facebook ads or Gumtree ads or Spare Room ads where you put a post, for example, saying that you buy houses for cash. You can even do guerrilla marketing where you put boards up like on lampposts saying we buy houses for cash. Now they might get taken down by the council. Do you know what I mean? You just want to let people know that you buy houses and keep reminding people. Any way you can put it, really.
Yeah, you can just run it as a business expense.
Have it on the back of your t-shirt.
Now, something that's going to help you is having a CRM to keep track of everything. Because when we started, we went on loads of viewings, and then by the end of I think one day we did like 14 viewings, and by the end of it, we was like writing notes and stuff and trying to take photos. And we were just like, right, is this property and what was this one? Like we just basically wasted the whole day because we couldn't remember anything. And we tried to do it well. We had clipboards and everything looking professional and that, just forgot everything. So if you have a CRM, so like go high level. Number 4, deal sourcers. Deal sourcers like ourselves and people that we work with do everything that we've mentioned in this video constantly. That's why we typically get better deals than everyone else, because we do the work. If you can't be bothered to do the work, reach out to a deal sourcer. I've bought off deal sourcers. I've sold loads of deals to investors who can't bother to do the work, you know, because the reason I've bought off deal sourcers in the past is because I've been too busy to do that sort of thing. A lot of investors are like as well. They don't want to be doing all of this stuff. So if you've got someone that can do that, mate, it's worth paying a fee, because the amount of work that sometimes goes into finding something that's heavily discounted is going to take time away from your business or your job or whatever it is you do, or time with your family. Paying someone a $5,000 fee, for example, for finding say for example a 50 grand below market value deal, just worth it. So reach out to reputable deal sources, but make sure you do your due diligence and you understand how to analyze a deal. Because if somebody just says it's 30% BMV and you have no way of working it out because maybe you're not subscribed to this channel or something, then you know you could be having the wool pulled over your eyes and they just might want to get a quick fee out of you. So make sure you know what you're doing and make sure you're working with a reputable deal sourcer. Let's move on to method number 5. Network like crazy.
Okay. So yeah, network like crazy. Join property Facebook groups and network with the people that are in those property groups.
Sometimes you will go to a property event and there will literally be portfolio landlords that just are only going to those events to speak to people that want to buy properties, and they just want to offload because maybe they bought them in their personal name, or with the law changes it's not working out worth it for them. They might be desperate to sell, they might just be getting too old, they just don't want to manage property anymore, they don't want to own property anymore, they want to just retire and run off into the sunset. These are good places to go to potentially find good deals.
And also just speak to everyone and tell them what you do, because you don't know like what people have or what their situation is. Like anyone you speak to, they might have a property that they're not happy with, for example. Like you don't know who people are, so if you just tell everyone what it is that you do, deals will come up.
We've had it where we was in a taxi and then they were just asking what we do. I think we was basically just telling them what we do, but that's what you need to do anyway, because he told us one of the biggest landlords in our area is looking to sell. So
yeah, well we was actually on the way back from a property event and it was quite late, and the guy was saying like, what was you doing? And we explained we was at a property event, and then we got into the conversation, and then that's when he mentioned that.
Oh right, well what we should have done is just told him what we do anyway, and just tell everyone what you do. Like I know a story of a guy called Trevor who was on the tube, and he just goes to the random person next to him, and obviously everybody knows in London you don't really talk to random strangers, especially on the tube. He just goes, do you know anyone that's looking to sell a property? Just fucking why not? And then they actually did, and it was their mum or something, and they were struggling to sell a property and ended up buying it.
Another perfect example, I know someone who went to Portugal, and on the first day that he was there, went to a barber shop to get a haircut, started talking to the owner of like what it is they do, and turns out the owner actually has a property that they're not happy with and they're not getting the right rents for. So there's a deal that's going to be done there as well. This guy just talks to everyone and tells everyone what he does and gets deals off the back of it. So network like crazy and tell everyone what you do. So let's talk about the common pitfalls to try and avoid when looking at below market value deals. So number 1, we don't confuse cheap with a good deal.
A lot of people go up to the north and, you know, where there's literally properties for like 15 grand. They think, oh, that's a great deal. It's an amazing yield because I could rent it for, say, £400 a month. That's an insane deal. But sometimes that will be an absolute shithole where you only have smackheads. Like we've been to places where they literally steal your sinks, your taps. There's no point in having that property. You're just buying a headache.
Yeah, because all the properties on the streets are all like boarded up, or they're crack houses, or there's just tramps and smackheads everywhere. So like no family or tenant's going to want to live in your property. So you might buy it for like 5, 10 or 15 grand, but it's not going to make money if you can't get a tenant in there. So you're just buying a headache.
Yeah,
so
it's literally just going to cost you money all the time.
So don't confuse very cheap or very below market value or heavily discounted for good value, because it's not going to be good value. It's just going to be a headache. And also don't put in a lowball offer without understanding the seller's situation.
Yeah, because there's loads of creative ways that you can help where it's a win-win. It could work out better for the vendor. So you're trying to help them out, basically. You're not trying to just be an absolute vulture and just take everything from them.
You're not trying to mug people off. You're trying to create win-win solutions for everyone. Below market value deals don't just fall on your lap. I mean, they do if you've got to go out there and put the effort in to get these deals. So don't rely on luck. Go out there, use the tips that we've given you, and go find these deals.
The only reason that we get so many below market value deals and the people in our community bring us so many below market value deals is because of one factor, and that's action. They take massive amounts of action for months and months.
People see them after they've been working and grinding for, say, 8 months. They're like, oh, why do they get all the below market value deals. They got like 10 deals this month. Yeah, because they've put in all the hard work and saw nothing, got no reward for it, and just kept going, kept going, and kept going. It's delayed gratification. Take massive amounts of action. The deals start falling on your lap consistently. I hope this video is helpful. This is how you get consistent below market value properties. Subscribe.